Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating story about process, perception, and ultimate success. We're going to look closely at a narrative that completely challenges how we value speed in our hyper-fast modern world. It's the story of a teenage boy named Lucas. So let's look at the precision of the slow writer and extract a really powerful lesson about how we approach our own work.
So Lucas was this teenage kid, simple shirt, always perfectly neat, who was literally always the last to finish his work. Day in and day out, he worked so deliberately, long after the rustling of his classmates' papers had stopped. Now, in any standard classroom environment, what happens when someone is consistently the slowest? Well, people make assumptions, right? Everyone around Lucas just immediately assumed he wasn't smart. They totally equated a slow pace with a lack of intelligence. And honestly, that is a heavy, quiet burden to carry, being that one isolated figure still writing away while the rest of the world has seemingly moved on.
Just think about the stark emotional and physical contrast in that room. You have the other students who already finished early. They're talking, laughing, relaxing. It's this picture of chaotic, careless energy. But right there in the background, contrasting with all that noise, you have Lucas. He is still writing. He isn't distracted by the laughter or, rushing to join the social hour. He is totally immersed in his task. It's a really powerful juxtaposition between the immediate gratification of being done and the enduring discipline of being incredibly thorough.
Okay, let's dive into this, because his peers would literally ask him, "Why are you so slow? You will never succeed like this." You can really feel the emotional weight of that mockery, can't you? It's not just some casual observation. It's a direct attack on his potential. Imagine a group of students smiling and teasing, delivering this harsh judgment. It's that classic pressure to just conform to the speed of the majority. They're basically telling him his entire method is fundamentally flawed. It's a heavy moment that really tests exactly who Lucas is.
So, how does our protagonist react? Well, he stays completely quiet, ignores the teasing, and just keeps that calm focus on his notebook. Let's look at Section 1, the slow method, quiet focus.
Lucas uses a highly structured, deliberate algorithm for accuracy every single day. Let's break down the exact steps. Step 1, he reads every question twice to make absolutely sure he understands it. Step 2, he thinks carefully, just processing the information. Step 3, he finally writes. And Step 4, he checks his answers again. Now, this 4-step process absolutely takes time. It's meticulous, but the sheer genius of Lucas is that he never, ever skips a step, no matter how much the class laughs or how long it takes. This is the whole architecture of his quiet focus.
Everything we've seen so far sets the stage for the ultimate proving ground, the day the teacher announces a test. Section 2, the big test, clashing methods.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. As soon as the test begins, the difference is crystal clear. On one side, the other students start writing quickly, totally driven by this desire to finish first, equating speed with success, looking super confident. But amidst all that rushing urgency, Lucas is just an island of methodical calm. He follows his usual method. He works slowly. He reads, thinks, writes, and checks. The contrast is stunning, the frantic, tense energy of the classroom versus the disciplined, unbothered routine of one individual.
Eventually, time passes and the test is over. The teacher sits down at her desk to check all the papers. You can kind of feel the suspense building here, right? On her desk sits this huge stack of rushed, quickly scribbled exams, and hidden somewhere in that pile is Lucas's slow, deliberate work. While the fast students are probably out celebrating their speed, the teacher is seriously reviewing everything, discovering the actual truth behind their quick finishes, grading each paper, and revealing the real cost of rushing. The very next day, the teacher returns with the results, noting to the class that finishing fast actually resulted in a lot of wrong answers. Which brings us to Section 3, the surprise result, quality over speed.
And then we get the ultimate climax of the story. Lucas had the highest score. Imagine the complete and utter shock washing over that entire classroom. No way, right? The students who laughed, the students who rushed, the ones who told him he'd never succeed, they are all looking around in absolute disbelief. And there's Lucas, sitting quietly and peacefully at his desk, completely unsurprised by his own success. His deliberate 4-step process didn't just help him pass, it literally propelled him to the absolute top of the class. To make sure everyone grasps exactly why this happened, the teacher explains it perfectly. He is slow, but he understands. He checks his work. That is why he makes fewer mistakes. She openly validates his entire methodology right in front of everyone. She completely separates the concepts of speed from the concept of understanding.
And in this moment, you can actually feel the emotional shift in the room. The mockery we saw earlier just instantly dissolves into profound respect. The students look at this quiet kid and realize that what they mistook for a lack of intelligence was actually a deep commitment to care and precision.
Let's move to and see how this builds to our final underlying concept for today's explainer. Section 4. The power of habit.
So the crucial point is understanding what a habit actually is, something you do regularly without even thinking about it. Lucas didn't have to muster up some immense willpower on the day of the big test to suddenly be careful. His slow, deliberate process, reading twice, thinking, writing, checking, was an automatic habit. It was just his default setting. While the other students had a habit of rushing and reacting, Lucas had cultivated this deeply ingrained habit of precision. That is the secret engine of his success. By making thoroughness a habit, he completely guaranteed his own high performance.
If we distill this entire narrative down to its absolute core, the lesson is super clear. Working slowly with understanding is fundamentally better than working fast with mistakes. It sounds so simple when you say it out loud, doesn't it? Yet it's so frequently ignored in a culture that constantly rewards whoever finishes first. Lucas's story proves that the time invested in getting something right the first time is infinitely more valuable than the time saved by rushing through it and getting it wrong. Quality inherently outlasts speed.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. And I want to leave you with a direct question. Look at your own workflows, your own projects, your own daily tasks. Are you rushing to finish, or are you taking the time to understand? Are you the frantic student trying to be done first, or are you willing to be the quiet, meticulous worker who gets it perfectly right? It's a powerful distinction, and changing your answer might just completely change your results. Thank you so much for joining me for this analysis, and hey, keep building those powerful habits.